What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten? Have you tried bone marrow, tripe, or even beef tendon? A different dining experience featuring such was held at the Free Library Culinary Literacy Center.
I'm Chef Ari Miller of Musi BYOB.
And I'm Dr. John Reisman.
And this is Anatomy Eats.
Over the years, Ari and I, we've talked about butchering, where food comes from, what to do with it, the overlap between kind of my medical knowledge and his culinary knowledge.
In large part from these conversations over our love of food and John's medical career. I had a demonstration dinner with a beef heart that we chopped up in front of everyone and then served it to them raw as beef tartare, which will be on the menu at Musi. And John asked, well, what was your spiel on the heart?
Did you point out the coronary arteries and the mitral and tricuspid valves? Of course he didn't.
So we sort of decided that I would cook and he would come and do the spiel.
When someone will have a sort of injury, you'll actually see the bone and then you'll see a little white fragment of bone that's been pulled away from the main bone. And usually that's exactly where a tendon attaches, and we call that an avulsion fracture. Whenever there's a lot of different muscles, there's going to be connective tissue separating those muscles. Any bone that has some projection, some protuberance, some spine on it, that means it's creating more surface area for some muscle to attach to. That's why bones are shaped the way they are. The muscle that sits here underneath the spine is called infraspinatus, beneath the spine. That's a flat iron steak. Each event in the Anatomy Eats series is focused on one of the bodily systems. Our first one was the circulatory system. We served bone marrow. Ari made some blood cookies and blood sausage, which were delicious. Blood whips, just like egg whites.
Fresh blood.
Fresh blood, yes. And don't accept substitutes. And we also served 3 species of heart cooked in 3 different ways. For the second dinner, it was based on the digestive system. We started with tongue, where I explained the part of digestion that starts in the mouth. And then we served tripe, which is part of the stomach, some intestine, and some liver, which is kind of the overlord of the digestive system and oversees all of metabolism. And then this was the musculoskeletal system, where we served dishes based on tendon, on bone and ligaments, and muscle, both one that could be cooked like a steak, high heat and fast, and one that had to be cooked slowly, low heat, moist, and over time.
You're consuming one of the most innermost parts of the animal. We actually made this gelatin with cow's femur, and then also the beef tendons were cooked in that as well. This represents specifically how far we've been removed from the source of our animals. I think one of the most amazing things also about bone broth is that you literally have to do nothing to make it happen. You put water on bones and just let it go. The flavor is pretty intense.
Every night has been very well attended. Everyone's been very interested, engaged. They know they're here to eat odd things and hear medical stories as they eat. And so some interesting topics have come up. But this is an adventurous crowd.
Yeah, and we had people who were a self-selecting crowd, but intrigued by the ability to have beef tendon or tripe. Things that factor in pretty heavily to the way I eat, to the way John eats. How special this is the way we get to share this with people that are being exposed to this for the first time.
And I think mainstream American cuisine is finally coming around to the fact that what I learned in medical school is true, which is that every part of an animal's body is edible, except those parts that are going to stab you in the esophagus when you swallow it, like teeth and bones. Everything else is edible and can be delicious if cooked right, like in the hands of Chef Ari Miller.
For more about the cuisine and anatomy events, visit our website.